So the purpose of today's training is to educate you on the process of becoming a GSA scheduled contract. So during the presentation, Anthony and I will provide you information about our office, which is referred to as the OSTABU, which is the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization. And we're just going to discuss the importance of market research, and we're going to outline the prerequisites that's needed to become a multiple award schedule supplier. Then we're going to go through the required documents that's needed to receive a scheduled contract. I'm going to go through the slides, and Anthony's going to do the live demonstrations. So I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let's go to the next slide, please, Anthony. So GSA's mission is to deliver value and savings in real estate, in acquisition, in technology, and other mission support services across the federal government. So through our public building service, which you're going to hear me refer to as PBS, and what GSA, we provide real estate space, architecture, interior design, and construction. Our PBS, which is our public building service, owns or lease over 8,600 assets and maintain an inventory of more than 370 million square feet of workspace for approximately 1.1 million federal employees across the country. Even though the majority of us right now are at home teleworking, we're still managing this space because we will be getting back into the federal buildings and also our lease space. So the small businesses, they provide maintenance. They also provide the security, the landscape and the construction, the architecture, and all the services that are needed to keep up these buildings operational. So our second buying line is our Federal Acquisition Service, which you'll also hear me refer to as FAST. They're the ones who deliver a vast number of commercial goods and services at best value and throughout the federal government. And they also manage the Multiple Award Schedule program, which you've heard me refer to as our MASS contract. Next slide, please. So our office, the Office of Small Business Disadvantage Utilization, we have nationwide responsibility for GSA Small Business Program, and it is the chief advocate for small and disadvantaged businesses in doing business with our agency. The majority of the time, a lot of times when Anthony and I get referrals from small business, they're trying to do business with other agencies, and they're asking them, what's the easiest way for me to be able to do business with you? And they'll tell them, if you have a multiple award schedule, because it's a contracting vehicle that's already in place and we can just do direct business with you. And so, because other than that, then it has to go open market, and then they have to compete you with other businesses in order to award you that particular contract. So what our office do is promote and increase access to the GSA nationwide procurement opportunities. As I said, most time the people are coming to do business with other agencies for GSA. So what Anthony and I do, we not only give you training about the multiple award, but we also tell you about the opportunities that GSA has as well. So we do this by connecting small businesses with the right people and the resources to help them grow. We are your advocates. And so just to give you a snapshot of how we've done over the past years, we've done $1.86 billion in small business. And of that, 987 million was with disadvantage. 386 million were women-owned. 216 million with HubZone, and 280 million with service disabled veterans. Next slide, please. So just to show you where our office is located, part of my office mission is to improve the efficiency and awareness for small business concern. So we have 11 regions across the country. So Anthony and I, as well as Lori, we fall in Region 9. The headquarters is located in San Francisco. That's where our regional administrator is housed. And also the majority of the contracting staff. But we also have regional offices that are in other parts of the country. So if you have other counterparts that you're doing business with, you may have them reach out to one of the regional office. But keep this in mind, you only need one multiple award schedule to be able to do business nationwide. So if you ascertain a multiple award contract number, you don't have to apply for one in the various regions in order to do business. Next slide, please. So now, if you have questions and you want to contact one of our local small business specialists, we provide you in a copy of the slides that you'll get at the end of the presentation. These are our Region 1, 2, next slide, please. Region 3 and 4, and as you see, we're providing you not only their name, their email, as well as their telephone number. This is information for Region 5. It also highlights the states that they're responsible for. Region 6 and Region 7, their information. Next slide. Region 8, and here's our region, Region 9, where you see Anthony Caruso, you see Lori Falkenstrom, and you see myself. Next slide, please. And Region 10 and 11, Michelle Lachey that name has changed. So before we send it out to you, we need to update that name to the new Region 10 specialist. And Ralph is in Region 11, which is our NCR, which handles DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Let's go to the next slide, please, Anthony. And also our central office, and it gives you where they're responsible as well. And that's Jerome, Kevin, and Rob, who's there in our capital region, DC. Next slide, please. Now we want to give you information as it relates to the coronavirus. We always got to talk about the 1,000-pound gorilla that's in the room. Let's go to the next slide, please. So what GSA response has been helping our federal agency, our states, and our local partners, helping them meet their mission by purchasing these items that are needed in a day-to-day operation, our gloves, our disinfectant spray, as well as masks that has to be worn anytime you're in any of our federal facilities. Next slide, please. So if these are items that you have and you want to provide and help meeting this need, we've given you an email. These items are what we need on a day-to-day because we're going and utilizing these items on the day-to-day. And the majority of these items are disposable. So we are constantly purchasing these items. Next slide, please. So even if you don't have a GSA multiple award schedule, you can still help meet these requirements. Definitely work with your PTACs. Also make sure you're registered with sam.gov and also sign up for disaster respond registry that we have. And also you can monitor opportunities in sam.beta.gov as well. And so also, if you want to identify existing schedule contract holders, definitely you want to visit our GSA e-library to view them, and maybe you're able to partner with them as well. Next slide, please. And so in doing business in these unprecedented times, what GSA has done, we have made it where we are accelerating payments to 15 days. We have put some class deviations in place to raise the ceiling on progress payments. Also, we've implemented the 3610 CARES Act, and we've have also put up a COVID-19 page on acquisition.gov as well. So we can just make it a lot easier for you to be able to identify what's needed by the various agencies. Next slide, please. So just to show you again, a lot of the items that are needed to help get our federal employees back into the federal buildings, and also technology that we're looking to utilize in keeping them safe by the various screening services and the contract tracing services as well. Next slide, please. So we've also provided you websites for you to be able to visit, to be able to see the opportunities that are available in helping us meet the needs that are needed during this time. Next slide. So in accessing procurement opportunities, one of the things that you need to know is which federal agencies purchase your goods or services that you're offering, how much are they buying, and are they awarding them to small businesses by placing set-aside opportunities. You want to also know what strategies they're utilizing. And all of these are free tools and database that Anthony's going to take you through to show you. You also want to know who your competitors are and who hold those current contracts, and also when they will be expiring as well. And so this is all information that is available to you, because these are our tax dollars that are being spent, and you have an opportunity to trace these procurement opportunities and also follow them in the forecast. Next slide, please. So in accessing these procurement opportunities, it's important that you get the right data to help improve your efficiency and your effectiveness in doing business with the federal government. So it's really important to use the data to develop targeted strategies, and just to make sure that you're on the right track. No one just wants to spend their time going from website to website. You definitely want to be able to put a strategy together to be able to follow the money, as I would always say. Next slide, please. So here, Anthony's going to take you to do a live demonstration on the federal procurement data system to show you how you can ascertain this data. Anthony, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Pam. So now, as Pamela said, we're going to do a couple of live demos. So FPDS, as I always like to say, the first thing in dealing with the federal government, just like you do commercially, you really need to do your market research. And FPDS is one of the best places to find that data. It'll really help you in figuring out the federal marketplace. It'll tell you the who, what, where, when, why, just like back in high school or grade school, which agencies buy the specific product or service that you provide, when was that specific contract awarded, and when will that contract be ending? Are there any options? Who the current incumbent is, so you know who you are competing against, the where, the location of where those contracts are performed for the contracting and the contracting office that awarded and funded that procurement, and the what contracting vehicle or mechanism was utilized in order to procure the service or product that was procured. Was it done through C4D, which is a Navy contracting vehicle? Was it done through the GSA schedules? Was it done through AIMS, the NASA contracting vehicle? What was the mechanism or the tool that was utilized to procure that service or product? It's imperative that you know that so you're not wasting your time or our time. And so this tool will really help you to develop the focused marketing plan for the federal sector. So you're not just throwing darts at the wall, but you understand and have done your homework and understand how the game is played at that specific agency or military installation. Excuse me. So like I said, you don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste our time. It'll really help you in determining what your return on investment is going to be by identifying the 3 to 5 agencies you should be targeting rather than the entire federal government, which is the largest buyer in the world. Even the big girls and boys can't market to the entire federal government. You really need to find your niche. And then once you identify these 3 to 5 agencies, FPDS will also help you identify what tools or contracting vehicles, like I mentioned before, you will need in order to make it easier for civilian agencies and military installations to do business with you. So it cuts down the paperwork on the back end for you to have these tools to do business with these agencies and military installations. And so the first demo we're going to be going over is FPDS. FPDS has 3 different search vehicle, 3 different searches that you're able to utilize. The first one is on fpds.gov, and it's the easy search. It's sort of the down and dirty. You don't have to sign in, have an account, or anything of that nature. And in the search engine, just like any Google search, you can put a service product, you can put competitors, you can put large primes, you can basically put, it'll do a basic word search for it. So to stay relevant, we're going to put in mask since everyone is currently wearing one. We'll do a search. And what will come up is every contract that was awarded for mask from the federal government. So you can see federal prison systems, Veterans Affairs. As you scroll down, you'll see every single one. There are quite a few over the last 15 years. You can download it on the right-hand side into an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF copy. If you click on the View link, we'll do it for Veterans Affairs. It'll give you everything that was inputted by the contracting officer or contracting specialist for that specific procurement. So it'll give you the award ID or the agency's ID, 3600 for the VA, the date it was signed, the action obligation, if there are any options that were exercised, the contracting office, the name of it, the vendor name, where it's located, the socioeconomic category, small women-owned, service-disabled, veteran-owned companies, the type of contract. So everything for that specific procurement, you'll be able to see, and then where it was ordered from, place of performance, product service code, NAICS codes, everything for that specific procurement, it'll tell you that was inputted by the contracting officer. It'll tell you here. So it'll really give you an insight into the specific agencies and specific contracting offices, what they're buying, how they're buying, when they're buying. Because the quickest way to get hung up on is to call an agency and military installation and say, do you buy what I sell? No one has time to educate you on that. They want to see that you've done the legwork, that you've done the homework, your homework, that you understand how the game is played at that specific agency and military installation. So this is the easy search. We'll do one more. We'll put in a large primes. Pencil Phelps. This is a large construction contractor. And this way you'll be able to see what subcontracting opportunities might be available through the large primes. So Hensel Phelps has quite a few contracts with various government agencies. You'll be able to see what contracts they've been awarded, what courthouses, what border stations, what exactly are they doing currently. And you can view all their contracts. And as you know, most small businesses get their first taste of federal contracting as a subcontractor. So it's a really good way to sort of see who you could be subcontracting to and what opportunities might be available. And again, you can click on the award, the view, and it'll give you everything for that specific procurement. And then if you want to sort, you can also do it by contract type, agency code, date signed, NAICS code. However you want to slice or dice it, you can utilize it for the easy search. Okay, and then again, you can click on the Excel spreadsheet, export it, save it to your computer, and slice it, dice it again. Okay, and so that's the easy search, and that was the first search that is available through FPDS. The other two functionalities or searches are standard and ad hoc, and those have transported over to beta.sam.gov. Okay, so I'm going to take you over to beta.sam.gov. And most of you should be familiar with this if you've ever looked for any RFQs or basically everything is going to be moving over. If you have your SAM registration, everything's going to be moving over to the sam.gov website. So this is beta.sam. You click on sign in. You can put your email address and password for your name. I'm going to sign in with my ID card. Okay. So once you sign in, this website will come up, or this page, and you click on the Run Data Reports. On the left-hand side where it says Report Type, you can click on Standard, Ad Hoc, which are the two we'll be showing. Static, you'll need to, and neither administrative. There are 36 current reports for Standard. It gives you a little bit more in depth than the easy search. You can do awards by contractor type, bundled and consolidated contracts, the competition. National interest action, any inherently government, if there are any anomalies. I'm going to run the small business going report since we're small business specialists. We'll do it for 10/1, 2019 to 9/30, 2020. So this is basically for all of fiscal year 20. We're going to run it we'll do it for GSA, since that's the agency myself and Pamela are with. We'll do it for Region 9. That's our region. California, Arizona, Nevada, and Hawaii. You then click Execute. It's going to show you all the total small biz dollars that were spent for Region 9 in fiscal year 20. So we did approximately 432 million within just Region 9 GSA. How much we did with small business, which is a little over 44%, or 191 million. It gives you the small disadvantage. It shows you all the socioeconomic categories: small, women-owned, veteran-owned, service-disabled veteran. Basically, everything that we've done with every socioeconomic category, how much business we've done. Then what I find really useful is if you click on the funding department, right-click on it, you drill down, you can look at the contracting agency ID, so you'll see every contracting office within the region and what their socioeconomic categories were. Oops. One second. And I'll show you every contracting office from, so for Region 9, we have the LA Service Center, we have San Diego Service Center. I'll show you every contracting office within the region, and I'll break it down by socioeconomic category as well. Okay, so you can see right here. You can see there's how much business each one has done. Again, total that was spent, and what their socioeconomic. So you can see if some are more friendly to 8A, woman-owned, service-disabled, veteran-owned companies. And then to really get into weeds and see everything that was put in for every procurement within the region, you can go to drill, drop down to award detail, and it'll give you every procurement for that 432 million that was spent, every procurement that was done for fiscal year 20. And it'll break it down and give you when the data was signed, socioeconomic category, every single thing that was put in for that specific procurement, you will be able to view. Socioeconomic, women-owned, NAICS code, obligation amount, option years. You're able to download and export that into an Excel spreadsheet right here. You can send it to yourself in an email, and then you can slice and dice it any way you choose. So you really know, this is once you have the 3 to 5 agencies, you can go to these specific agencies, run these reports, and then you can find out who the current incumbent is on these contracts, what contracting office you should be targeting, what tools you need. Do you need the GSA schedule? Do you need another contracting mechanism? As well as, are they doing 8A set-asides? Are they doing women-owned? So what tools should you really be marketing your services to for these agencies and military installations that you're targeting? So it's a really useful tool in getting in the weeds and understanding how and who you should be targeting. Okay, so that's the standard report. There's a wealth of information there. And then finally, the last functionality for FPDS is the ad hoc report. One second. Okay, and the ad hoc report is the final one on the left-hand side. And the ad hoc report, so basically the easy search is the first one, kind of gives you the down and dirty. Standard report gets you more in the weeds, can really help you identify the 3 to 5 agencies, really sort of pinpoint who you should be targeting, how you should be targeting. And then once you become proficient in those two, you can start to utilize the ad hoc report. The ad hoc report is a report that you can customize to whatever needs you have. So if you only want to look up 8A companies, if you want to look them up for GSA, Army Corps, and the 3 to 5 agencies you're targeting, you can set it up and run that on a reoccurring basis. So if you want to run it weekly, or if you want to run it bi-weekly, you can do that. And you can set it up all here. Click on create, new report. Use the report builder. It's much easier. And then you can set up the specific metrics that you're looking for, as well as the attributes. So if you're looking for specific contract dates, you're only looking for fiscal year 20, or you're only looking for marketing data for 8A companies, or you're only looking for these metrics, numbers of actions, or only with that are in the options or are expiring contracts. And then you can run them on a reoccurring basis to see how, so you know what's going to be coming up and what has just been awarded. So it's really a useful tool once you become proficient in it. Okay, and so that's FPDS. Pam, I don't know if you wanted me to go over USA spending right now, or if you wanted me to hold off on that.
I think it'll be great since you're already on there.
Okay, and so another useful tool in sort of navigating the federal procurement arena and doing that market research is USA spending. It actually takes data from FPDS and puts in a more user-friendly tool. So it gives you, as you know, in the government, we want to be as transparent as possible with the tax dollars that we are spending. It is your money. You can look at the COVID spending data, and it really gives you a kind of an in-depth view of how the COVID money is being spent, what it's going towards, and who it is being awarded to. You can do it by advanced search with the different filters, spending profile. So a lot of COVID right here, as you can see. Then right below that, it gives you a big picture view of the federal spending landscape, which agencies buying what, the breakdown by program activity. So, you know, vehicles, IT, kind of breaks it down like that. And then it gives you, right below that, a target approach to finding federal award data. You can select the search type. You do an advanced search. It's going to give you a lot of the filters that you're going to be very familiar and want to become familiar with. So the fiscal year. So you can do it for 2020. You can do the by award type, contracts. This will allow you to do grants, loans. You can look for specific agencies. So if you want, you can put GSA. You can put Army Corps. You can put Navy. The location. If you want it only for Los Angeles or only for California, you can do that as well. If it's for disaster relief, you can look for specific by NAICS code, product service code, and then the type of contractor pricing, and then the set-asides. Is it 8A? Is it women-owned? Is it serviceable veteran? So it has a lot of the same metrics and filters as FPDS and a little bit more of a user-friendly style. And then you submit the search, open it up, and start using the data for your market research. So it's, again, it's another useful tool in your toolbox in sort of navigating through the federal arena, who you should be selling to, what tools you need, so you're not wasting your time kind of spinning your wheels saying, or throwing darts at the wall. Who should I be targeting? How I should be targeting? What tools do I need? This really kind of fine-tunes it and sets you up for it. Okay, so that's FPDS and USA spending. Now I'm going to back over to Pam. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Anthony. That was a wealth of information. Thank you. So let's come back up with the slides. Now, there was some key things that Anthony was stating. Let's go to the next slide, please. So what he was stating, one of the key items that you will need to run a report in FPDS is your product service code that he referred to as PSC. And so using your product service code will allow you to filter through the FPDS data for your specific product or service. Now, he also talked about NAICS code, showing the NAICS code. So the NAICS and the NAICS is the North American Industrial Classification System. The NAICS and the PSC codes represent one of the tools used by the federal government agencies to classify procurement for goods and services. Now, NAICS classify commercial activity into a broad business category, i.e. like the manufacturer, the wholesale, the retail, and services. The product service code, known as the PSCs, are used to describe the product and service in a more detailed fashion. So just make sure you keep this in mind, that the NAICS code is what you do, and your PSC, your product service code, is how you are doing it. Let's go to the next slide, please. So going through the FPDS next generation, as Anthony did a wonderful job, they also have a data dictionary. So we don't just leave you out there for you to remember all the terms and conditions, but there is a dictionary to help you understand these key terminologies that's outlined in the report that you run. So it's important to read the report manual on how to run it ad hoc. We provide all that information for you as well. And what I love, that's in beta.sam.gov. They give you videos, tutorials on how you can be just as efficient as Anthony was when he went through those various demonstrations. And then if you have any website, if you have any questions, we also put their telephone number, and on the website is their email. Go to the next slide, please. Anthony did a wonderful job at taking you through the USA spending, which he talked about is another tool that can be used for conducting marketing analysis. It's another government resource for the data on federal grants, also contracts, loans, and other financial assistance. You can find all of that on USA Spending. The site also provided you a tool for examining the broader picture of the federal spending obligations by categories, such as the budget function, the object class function. And these items, they refer to the major purpose that the spending serves, such as Social Security, Medicare, national defense. Also, it refers to the services purchased by the federal grants or the contracts, and the personal compensation benefits. As Anthony mentioned, that these are our tax dollars. I never like to say your tax dollars because I'm a taxpayer as well. When it rolls around, I cringe like everyone else. So how our tax dollars are spent. So the FPDS serves as a source of the USA spending.gov contract data and makes it available for the federal procurement reports. And so you can run reports as far back as FY 2000, in 2K when it first came out. So, and it'll give you a summary of contracts that are more than 25,000 and a summary of data procurements that are also less than 25,000. You're able to run those reports. Next slide, please. So, in talking about what the GSA ebuy purchase, now in order to participate in the GSA ebuy, you have to be a GSA schedule holder, not only a multiple award holder, but also those who hold IT contract, as well as our OASIS contracts. But our GSA eBuy, it's another excellent online tool. As I stated, for our multiple award holder, our IT contract holders, through the GWAC, and our GWAC is a government-wide agency contract, meaning that our agencies help put these contracts in place. We work along with them to help meet their requirements. And so, but through the GSA eBuy, which is the ordering agency, through GSA eBuy, I'm sorry, an ordering agency, they will post a request for information. You're probably familiar with the term RFI. So the Army will go to GSA eBuy, they'll post a RFI, and those that are within the GSA multiple award schedule holders, they're able to submit an offer for that opportunity. So what I just indicated is that you can not even know about an opportunity that the federal government has because of how they're procuring it. They will go directly through GSA eBuy, and they're only competing against schedule holder. So therefore, you would not see that requirement synopsized on beta.sam.gov because they would have met the requirement as synopsizing those opportunities that are over $25,000 as is stated in the FAR, which is the Federal Acquisition Regulation. And so GSA practice is to conduct market research through an RFI or a sources sought notice to determine if there are any small businesses available and if they can perform the work for a particular requirement advertised through the eBuy. So it is determined that if it's determined that 2 or more small businesses can perform the work and the requirement, then that opportunity is set aside for small business. So Anthony's going to do a demonstration to show you later on how you can find those opportunities that we have in the forecast. But let me give you some more information about the benefits of eBuy. Next slide.
Pamela, can I ask a question?
Of course.
So we have a question from Brenda Palmer. She wants to know if you can find professional services or consulting opportunities on GSA eBuy.
You said, can you repeat the question? I'm
Sure.
sorry.
Can you find professional services and consulting opportunities on GSA eBuy?
Oh, most definitely. Yes, you can.
Awesome. And then another question we have is, do you need to register to the GSA? If so, how do you do this?
And so how do you register to the multiple award schedule? We are going to go through that. And it's just by going to GSA eLibrary is where you're going to identify all of the various products and services that GSA has a contract in place, and you're going to find all of that information on beta.sam.gov. And Anthony's going to do a live demonstration to show you. So just hold on to your seatbelt, to your seats, and we'll get there shortly.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. So Anthony, can you go to the next slide, please? So just some of the benefits of the eBuy. Our federal agencies have found that it's the best value for purchase decisions because the ordering activities can maximize their buying power through eBuy to obtain quotes that will result in a best value. Also, the RFQ management tool saves them time and money. Also, the streamlined acquisition process, because these are businesses who have all been vetted through the GSA multiple award schedule, and they all have contracts in place. And so we're just buying against those contracts that they have in place. As well, it fulfills the notifications to all. So everyone that's within that particular special item number receives a notification. So everyone's able to take an opportunity to participate. And we also found out the ease of use, how the system is user-friendly to both the contracting officer and the contractor who's participating, and also the potential market research that the system can be used as a key component of market research on particular scheduled contractors through the use of the RFI functionality. Let's go to the next slide, please. So now we'll talk about how can you find out about those opportunities that are not on the multiple award schedule. So Anthony's gonna take you to our forecast of opportunity. He's gonna show you GSA's forecast of opportunity. And Anthony, do you mind after that taking them to the agency forecast of opportunities? So you're able to show both of them. So
Will do, Pam. Thank you. So, okay, so the website that you'll have when you get the slides, we're going to forecast. The forecast, as Pamela mentioned, sorry about that. The forecast, as Pamela mentioned, is sort of the wish list for every agency. What's going to be, and it gives you a good idea of what's going to be coming out for that quarter, for that fiscal year. GSA currently keeps it up in real time. So it's updated by our contracting officers and contracting specialists. If they're they put in for the quarter and for the year, and then they update it on a pretty much if there are any changes that are going to be made to it. So you'll know what's going to be hitting before it'll be even hitting beta.sam. You'll be seeing what's going to be coming out, and you can sort of set your timing so you know what RFQs will be coming out. You can ask them when it might be coming out on beta.sam, so you can take a look at that. Okay. Let's see, 1 second. So this is the forecast tool for GSA. Let's see, one. For some reason, it's not loading currently. Let's see. Let's try it one more time. Let's go to ebuy just to take a look at it.
Anthony, if you're having difficult, we do have some slides that will give them a snapshot of what it looks like.
Okay, we can go to the slides real quick. So the forecast, let's see. Basically, it uses the similar attributes and filters that you're familiar with from FPDS, from USA Spending, from beta.sam. So the specific agency, the NAICS codes, the acquisition strategy, is it 8A, women-owned, what's the socioeconomic, what quarter, is this going to be in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, the contract type, will this be full and open, will this be a set-aside, will this be done through GSA schedules, what exactly is the mechanism again that's going to be utilized? and then you can sort of filter through and then download those to an Excel spreadsheet, or you can view them on the website. So it gives you the award status, and then you can see a listing of more detail, just like you do on FPDS. The description, the agency, the organization, the region, the award status, place of performance. If it was 8A, small disadvantage, is it going to be to be determined, firm fixed price, NAICS code, the estimated value. Is this a new requirement or an option? And then who the point of contact is. So who the contracting officer, contracting specialist is. And then the SBTA is a small business technical advisor, and this is for Pamela. Okay, so it gives you a wealth of information to kind of look at to see exactly when it's going to be hit in the street and if it's something you might be interested on bidding on. Okay, give me 1 second, and then this is for the procurement forecast for all agencies. So the last one was for GSA as well as the Department of Commerce. This is if you're looking for Department of Agriculture, Department of Defense, Education, Energy. Commerce is on there as well as GSA, Department of Labor, Homeland Security, and you can take a look at them. It's a very similar tool. You can browse all the forecast records. And again, it'll give you the very similar filters, the requirements, the small business program, contracting vehicle. Takes a minute to update, or my internet's running slow. It's one or the other. Dollar range. Okay. You can view it in more detail. And then on the left-hand side, again, gives you more of the same filters. If you only want to look for Border Patrol or facilities, whatever the specific office that you're looking to ascertain the procurements for. This is a follow-on contract. This is a new requirement. Dollar range. Very similar to the GSA's forecasting tool, and each agency has this and updates it at the very least on a quarterly basis. So once you've done the market research, you've looked at it, you've determined which agencies you should be targeting. Now you're going to look at what opportunities are going to be coming out for that fiscal year and for that quarter. And the forecast tool is a wonderful tool in doing that. Okay, now back to you, Pam.
I was going to ask you to go to the sales query. I mean, the
SSQ?
Yeah, the SSQ. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going to look at the schedule sales query. The schedule sales query is another tool. This is specific to GSA contracts. I know there's a lot of data out there. Most of you are probably tired of data, hearing, oh, using the different data points for whatever it may be in your business, but that's where we're at right now. And the more data you have, it's really deciding how you want to use it. So the SSQ is, let's see if this one loads. My GSA tools seem to be lagging today, so, but the SSQ will show you how much business was done for the specific schedules. So if you're on the IT schedule, or if you're on the professional services schedule, or if you're on the general product schedule, you'll be able to view how much business each, the number of vendors, the total number of contracts, each vendor, how much they've done. You can sort it by geography. So if you're looking for California, Southern California, Nevada, whatever locale you're looking for, the contract performance, the sales trends, professional services, it's on an upward trajectory. Going green, all of that you're able to sort of utilize and filter out what information you're looking for, whether it be for the GSA schedules, whether it be for GWACs, which are government-wide acquisition contracts, usually IT-based for GSA. Whatever GSA contracts are out there, you'll be able to use the SSQ, the schedule sales query, to sort of navigate your way and see current vendors, what are they doing just on GSA? What agencies are utilizing GSA schedules quite a bit? So should you get on the schedules to sell your product or service? And then on the right-hand side, again, there's similar filters. You can crosswalk those for whether it be for specific NAICS, for specific SINs on schedule, product service codes, the different regions. Again, very similar filters that you all need to become familiar with if you're going to be doing business in the federal arena. Okay? Now I'm going to hand it back over to Pam.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. That was a wealth of information. I said, let me get you in there to give us more information on your internet, since you say it's acting a little fuzzy. All right, let's go to the subcontracting opportunity slide. We talked about the forecast of opportunities. Belinda, did you have a question? I saw you come off of mute.
No.
Okay. So we were able to talk about the forecast of contracting opportunity. We were able to see where we can find those opportunities that the federal government has. And not only that, we had an opportunity to find procurement opportunities for other federal agencies. And as Anthony mentioned, it's a wish list for each of the federal agencies on what they're looking to buy. I know a lot of times when I would be working with small business, they'll say, well, by the time it made it to beta.sam.gov, businesses are already, they have already put their whole plan together and they're able to submit an offer. So what the forecast does, it gives you an opportunity to get your team together, to get your resources together so that you can submit an offer for those procurement opportunities. And you can look up what's first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So you have an opportunity to plan for those opportunities. Let's go to the next slides, please, Anthony. So,
okay, Pam, I do have a question about forecast opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
When those opportunities are posted, is it very likely that those will become solicitations? Is it definite that they'll become solicitations?
Yes, in most cases, it will state that this is set aside for small business, and they will let you, it will indicate when they will be soliciting. That's why when Anthony showed you on one of the slides, it showed you what an opportunity looked like. It gives you the contracting officer's email. It also lets you know who the small business technical advisor is. So if you have any questions about a particular opportunity, it behooves you to send them an email to find out more about that opportunity. So in most cases, yes, it is going to be, and it is an opportunity that is coming available.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Okay, so let's go on. So beta.sam.gov is where you will go to find those opportunities. So let's go to the next slide, Anthony. So how do you find out? Is there a demand for my product or service? How do I find out when those opportunities are going to come available? We did, in the beginning, we did live demonstrations on FPDS on how you can find about those opportunities. And so now you have a method in which putting together a strategy to find out about those offers, and so that you're able to plan for those opportunities. And so Anthony had gone to beta.sam.gov to show you where those opportunities are. Had you gone to beta.sam.gov, Anthony, to show those opportunities?
No, we haven't gone to beta.sam, but I mean, most people have been familiar with beta.sam in terms of that functionality of looking for the RFQs.
Okay, can you just show them, just for those who don't? I just always like to be sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw you had it open. Great. Just hoping that tab opens. That's why we're trying to utilize it.
It's having some issues right now.
If not, we'll come back to it.
Doesn't seem to be opening right now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go.
So it's
Great.
beta.sam, where we did the FPDS for the standard reports as well as the ad hoc. You can also look for contracting opportunities. I'm sure many of you have done that. You can search the contract opportunities. And on the right, it shows you some of the most current. You can, on the search, depending on, you can look for similar filters as you've seen on FPDS, USA spending, on a forecast. You can look by specific organizations. You can look DUNS for a specific contractor. You can look for classifications for the NAICS code, place of performance. So you can search for it based on those filters. You can also sign up for to get emails for specific NAICS and agencies that you're looking. So again, it's beta.sam, and you can kind of look for it through this. You can also look for small business events. So if there are any trainings or workshops or conferences that will be coming up, you can view them there. We publicize, as do most federal agencies there. So it's a great way to take a look at marketing efforts there as well. Okay, back to you, Pam.
Thank you so much. And so, Belinda, you have a question?
Yes, we have one question come in. So, is there a way to register as a prime contractor and subcontractor? And is there a method for these two to connect?
Yes, by going to sam.gov is where you would register to yourself as a prime contractor. I would have Anthony go there, but because we didn't open it up prior, I think his internet is going to have a lot of trouble. But if you go to sam.gov, you can register yourself, and then also as identifying yourself as a small business, it will take you into the dynamic small business search, where it will pre-populate, where you're able to register there your certifications that you have. And that's where a lot of businesses look for subcontracting opportunities as well.
Another thing just to add, Brenda, is that sam.gov is where you go for federal registration. Beta.sam.gov is where you'll go to see those opportunities. Eventually, those sites are going to be consolidated, so they will all be on just sam.gov in the meantime. And then as for connecting with primes and subcontractors, when you view an opportunity in beta.sam.gov, you can actually click that opportunity, and on the page that populates the description about the announcement, on the left-hand side, there is going to be a link for interested vendors, and you should be able to connect with other vendors that were interested in that same opportunity. I believe you do need to sign into your beta.sam.gov account. And again, that beta.sam.gov account is going to be the same login information that you used when you registered. It's equivalent to sam.gov. I hope I didn't confuse anybody, but if you do have questions, feel free to just post them in the chat. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Belinda. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, please, Anthony. Oh, I see. Okay. So, in asking these questions and the slide before, I'm sorry, go back to the slide before. So the slide before just gave you a snapshot of beta.sam.gov, and Anthony just did a wonderful demonstration with that. So the next slide. So questions you may be asking yourself is, will your company be able to compete with other multiple award schedule holders? And what we have done is given you websites for you to be able to go to see what other contractor have listed their prices and that they're selling to the federal, the state, and other quasi agencies that they can sell to. Now, you can do that by going to the GSA Schedule E library. It's the only library that I know that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you're able to do searches by special item numbers and also identify those vendors that have already acquired a multiple award schedule. You can also look in our GSA Advantage, which is our online catalog, where the federal agencies go to procure a lot of the various product and services. And I love utilizing GSA Advantage because I know their prices have already been negotiated by the federal government. So when agencies go there, they know that they're getting a best value. And Anthony had already taken you through to show you the GSA sales query and showed you how to navigate through that website. Next slide, please. And so you've already did a demonstration on this, so thank you so much. We can go to the next slide, please. Now we want to talk about subcontracting opportunity. I know many contractors find subcontracting as a preferable route to getting experience in the federal arena. So anytime a large business is awarded a contract that exceeds $750,000, or if it's in construction, 1.5 million in construction, they are required to work with eligible small businesses. So the same how GSA and other federal agencies have small business goals, SBA gives us statutory goals, and we try to meet and exceed our agency goals. The large businesses, they have goals as well. And so therefore you're able to market to large businesses to let them know that you are a small, maybe you're a woman-owned, maybe you're a HUB-zone, maybe you're a service-disabled veteran, maybe you're an 8A business. And so the large businesses are required to meet their subcontracting goal. Now, Anthony showed us earlier when he went to FPDS. So when he looked up, I believe it was mask, you were able to see everything the federal agencies were purchasing. Guess what? All of our prime contractors are listed there as well. So instead of clicking on the federal agencies, you can click on those that are prime contractors, and you can see what they're buying, who they're buying it from, and you can market directly to them for the opportunities that they need as well. Let's go to the next slide, please. So now we're getting ready to talk about the GSA schedule, but it's known as the multiple award schedule. It's an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, long-term contract. So you're looking at, first of all, a 5-year contract with 3 5-year options. So this is a 20-year contract. You can find yourself working with the federal government. So it provides fast, flexible, cost-effective procurement solutions. It represents approximately 21% of the overall federal procurement spending as well. And how is it identified? Through what is called a SIN, and a SIN is a special item number. Let's go to the next slide. So holding a scheduled contract can really transform your business from a small to a medium or large business. And as Anthony had taken you through the sales query, you'll see billions of dollars are spent through the multiple award schedule program. And talk about marketing and subcontracting, you can also market utilizing that vehicle as well. So just to give you an overview of our consolidation phase, there were 26 different schedules and some of you may be familiar with Schedule 70, which was our IT schedule, 36 and Schedule 86 or 73. You're just hearing the number of various schedules which had identified the services or products that fell under that contract. So instead of having all of these 20 different schedules, these 26 different terms and conditions, what happened was they were all consolidated into one. And so it just makes it so much easier. It streamlines the process. So it's one solicitation, one schedule, and it went from 888 special item numbers to now 317 special item numbers, which is a great benefit to you and to GSA as an agency. So what it did was it reduced the duplicate, and it also reduced all of the outdated elements, and it removed all of that just to simplify the process. Next slide, please. So we actually went from the 36 different schedules to having 12 categories that are within the one multiple award schedule. And so we have the IT as one of the category for information technology. You know, that's one of our largest buying disciplines. So you know that wasn't going anywhere. We also have professional services, and believe it or not, we utilize these schedules this multiple award schedule is used more for services than it is for purchasing products. I know people thought that more products were purchased, but it's actually more services that are used through this program. We also have our industrial products and services, along with our transportation, logistic, travel, human capital, and the list goes on. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at one of the categories of furniture and furnishings. So if you go to the next slide, Anthony. So within the furniture and furnishing as the large category, within that category, there are subcategories. So you will fall into providing flooring, or maybe it's different miscellaneous furniture, or maybe you're providing household or dormitory quarter furniture, or it could be packaged furniture or healthcare furniture. But all of these items fall within the large category of furniture and furnishing. And so that's how you would submit your offer to GSA. Next slide, please. So how do you identify that appropriate large category? By going to the GSA e-library. And within there, you're able to do searches. Anthony, I'm not sure if you had that tab open.
Yes, I do. I can do a quick.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's. So as Pamela said, the Schedules E-Library, there's a wealth of information on this website. In the search engine, you can put the service or product. On the right-hand side where it says Quick Search, it gives you a listing of all the schedules GSA has to offer. So you can go to the multiple award schedule. And it'll give you all the different categories. So facilities, energy consultation, scroll down, it'll give you every category. You click on the box on the right-hand side that says click vendors to your current solicitation on FedBizOps. It'll hyperlink you over to beta.sam, and it'll give you the paper-based application to get on schedule. So it'll give you the standard form, all the available offerings. It'll show you all of the different categories, as well as the solicitation right there. So all of this is available to download. You can download all the attachments and links right here. If you go back to the e-library, if you click on, let's see. So we'll do IT, information technology. We'll do IT services. If you click on their specific category, or what is now also their NAICS code, we'll do, you're going to see everyone that is currently on schedule. There's currently 4,400, a little over 4,400 contractors or vendors under IT professional services. It's probably our largest category, dollar-wise as well. Where they're located, their socioeconomic category, small woman-owned, service-disabled, veteran-owned company, as well as the terms and conditions of their contract. And if they're a service, you'll see their price list listed here. And if they're a product, you'll see, you can look under GSA Advantage, and it's like any e-commerce site. So it's a good way to sort of see who you're competing against, what the price list looks like. And then you can take a look on the SSQ and see how much business they've done utilizing their schedule to see what that return on investment might be. So if you click on the terms and conditions, let's see, not that one, not working. And these are the terms and conditions for this company. You can take it. I always recommend taking a look at your competitors, seeing how they set it up, what their pricing looks like, because there's no reason to recreate the wheel. You need to take what they've sort of done, what's already been approved, and then customize it to your own company. Okay. So as you can see, table of contents gives you the geographical scope of the contract, delivery, FOB, destination. Scroll through. Gives you all the terms and conditions, gives you their descriptions, cybersecurity for the different job levels. So level 2, level 3, their descriptions. Then it gives you the hourly rate for each one. And you can see the price escalation for each year. Okay, so it's a really useful tool. There's a lot of information there depending on the specific category you fall under. take a look at who's on, what their price list looks like, where they're located, socioeconomic category, see who you're competing against, as well as who could be a teaming opportunity before you even get on schedule to do teaming arrangements with. Okay, so that's just the Schedule Z library. You can play around with it and sort of see how it can help your company. All right, back to you, Pam.
All right, thank you. And as you see, there's definitely a wealth of information to help you navigate through how you'll be doing business with the federal government. Let's go to the next slide, please. So there are some things that you need to consider is that you must generate at least $25,000 in sale. So in holding a GSA schedule contract, they will expect for you to, they give you actually 24 months to generate $25,000. And then in the next month, you are able to hit you should be hitting $25,000 each year thereafter. It doesn't take between 18 to 24 months to get a GSA federal supply schedule. So therefore you can put a schedule. So Anthony, you work with the Acquisition Center. Do you ever get an opportunity to talk with the COs to see what they're stating the average time to get a multiple award schedule is?
According to our CEOs, for professional services, which is out of Auburn, Washington, it's ranging from about 3 to 6 months currently from the time that it is submitted. So I always like to say about 9 months cradle to grave to get on schedule, depending on the familiarity of the vendor with government contracting, and how long it takes them to fill out the application, submit it, and how clear and concise their submittal is.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Belinda, do you help in completing this application process? And if so, what is the length of time you have experienced in getting on the multiple award schedule?
So me personally, I do not assess, but I do have a colleague who does assess with GSA. His name is Enrique Gonzalez. So anybody feel free to message me afterwards. You'll all be receiving an email from me with the link for the recording. So just feel free to respond to me directly, but I can put you guys in touch with him. I'm not sure how long it takes him to put together, to assist with putting together the application. I could follow up with him and get back to you on that.
Just so we can have for future classes, so we'll be able to give that information. And did you have a question as well?
Yes, I did. I had somebody asked if nonprofits were eligible for the GSA schedule.
Yes, nonprofits would be considered as other than small business. So they would be considered as large business, but yes, they are definitely eligible for the multiple award schedules.
Awesome. And then one other question we have is, can the 25K be a grant or other funding source?
The $25,000 that they have to generate in sales?
Yes, they might have misunderstood, yes.
Yeah, so you have to generate $25,000 in sales. And I'm sure your company is probably doing more than 25,000. That has nothing to do with a grant. But if you're working on a grant each year with the federal government, so I guess I'm trying to understand how that grant would work against your sales. So you would either have to ask, define that question more. It's generating revenue, not
I think the information was misunderstood. So the $25,000 that we're referring to, it has to be generated by your agency, not We're not generating any sales right now. Okay. So then at this time, you wouldn't qualify based on that minimum qualification. Does that make sense? Okay. Thanks. Okay, good. Okay, question was answered. Thanks, Pamela.
Okay, okay. All righty. And so, okay, so let's go to the next slide, because we want to talk about, in addition to marketing your business, that there are also 4 prerequisites that your company must meet before starting the schedule application process. So one of the prerequisites is that your business has to be in operation for 2 years, and you have to provide 2 years of financial statements. So, in being, I guess that's where to answer the question. So so being in operation for the 2 years and providing the 2 years of financial statements, these statements will verify that you have made the $25,000 in sales overall for your business. And so, and this information is used to ensure that your company is financially stable. That's, pretty much what the information is for. So be sure to explain any information that reflects negative on your business. So businesses operating for less than 2 years are ineligible unless they are seeking an IT and information technology contract, because we know how fast information technology changes. And what you bought last year, how about what you bought 6 months ago, is already outdated, because there is new information that has already superseded that. And so we do want to have past performance. So you must have a measurable past performance, which is an indicator of your ability to perform the contract successfully. So under the consolidated schedules, there are 3 options really for meeting this past performance requirement that we're talking about. One of them is information that's outlined in the contractor's performance assessment recording system. You probably familiar with it. It's called a CPARS. And after you would have completed a job for the federal government, they would post your performance in CPARS. Next, it's including 3 references from customers on relevant work that you would have performed. And also you can include a past performance narrative if you have not had any past performance in CPARS. The narrative will outline the work that you perform to a specific category that you're interested in offering a product or service under. So we also ask that your products be commercially available and that it is compliant with the Trade Agreement Act, that the Trade Agreement Act is which state your product must be manufactured or substantially altered within the United States or a designated country that's defined in the Trade Agreement Act. Let's go to the next slide, please. So here's information as it relates to the IT Springboard. So this program is for those companies who have fewer than 2 years of experience. So in lieu of those 2 years, you can use your corporate experience that you would have ascertained working for a corporation. And you can use that professional experience and that key personnel as a substitute. So the financial documents can be provided. So in lieu of those financial documentations, you would give statements and you would demonstrate your company's financial responsibility. And so if you're interested in this program, we did put the website down here, the gsa.gov /springboard for you to find out more information. Let's go to the next slide, please. So another item that we always talk about, how important it is for you to create a federal business plan. Because in most cases, what will happen is that people will go on the website and they'll start, one title will lead you to another title. And it's so important for you to put a business plan together so that when you are submitting your offer to GSA, they're going to be asking, who are your most favorite customers? What are some of the sales? And so putting a market plan together, I always like to say, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And so, and in your market plan, you're going to identify those agencies that have purchased your product or service, because they're going to ask a question in there: what is your projected sale? And you'll be able to go to your business plan to pull that information, because you'll see that they spend X, Y, and Z dollar amount, and you can utilize a projected sales that you'll be selling to the federal government for your product or service. You'll also be able to identify the agencies that you're looking to market, and you'll be able to see what the prices of those sales were. And so it's definitely, putting a market plan together is definitely going to be a rate of return for you, a return on your investment as well. Let's go to the next slide, please. So another one of the prerequisites that is needed for you to register in sam.gov, where you will be able to register for your DUNS number. You'll also get your unique identity number that GSA will provide for you, your UEI, your universal identity number. So, but your DUNS number is what you'll get. You'll also register to let them know the type of certifications that you have. So this is all a part of your registration and the various certs that you have in place. Next, Anthony, next slide, please. You'll also be able to obtain digital certification. This is an encryption software that you'll be purchasing. And so in order to get your schedule, and you have to have your DUNS number and also register into the SAM, which is the System for Award Management. And keep in mind that the DUNS is just like a Social Security number for your business. And the SAM registration is free. I cannot tell you how many people who have contacted our office and stated that they had to pay to register in SAM. No, what cost is obtaining your digital certificate. And so that cost can vary. It depends on the level of certificate that you want to purchase and from who. But the average cost is about $119, and it takes in between 7 to 14 days. Belinda, have you worked with individuals, or have Enrique worked with individuals in getting their digital certificate?
I think Enrique might have actually done that already, but I'll double check with him. But yeah, he's definitely he's our GSA PTAC person.
He's our GSA guru, right?
Yeah, yes.
That's what we like to call him. All right, thank you. And so just note, if you're registering as a new entity in the sam.gov, you must provide an original signed notarized letter stating that you are an authorized entity administrator before your registration will be activated. So, and there also information in the FAQs to learn more about the process and the changes. Let's go to the next slide, please. Another prerequisite is that there is some required training classes that you have to take. One is the Pathway to Success, and it asks you multiple award specific questions, which is designed to assist you in prospective GSA multiple award scheduled contracts in just making an informed business decision as to whether obtaining a multiple award scheduled contract is in your company's best interest. And so as you go through this training, it breaks it down by 5 molecules, and in which each molecule covering a different aspect of the multiple award schedule program. You know, one of the things, keep in mind, so this isn't just a webinar that you're just going to go on and listen to. There is a quiz at the end of that training. So you are going to have to write notes. Someone had told me, Pam, you told me to go take the training for the Pathway to Success and the readiness to assessment, but you never told me it was a quiz. So I had to go back through and listen to it all over again just to be able to answer the questions. So keep that in mind as you're going through. And the readiness assessment tool is just a detailed and ask questions to ensure you have identified the appropriate multiple award schedules and the SIN, which is your special item number, along with ensuring that you understand the competition that's on the MAS program and the profitability of the schedule program that you're wishing to apply for. So we don't just give you this training here. We set you up where you can learn more and just be more educated about the process that you're getting ready to entail. Can you go to the next slide, please? So there are some required documents. If you have someone completing your application and acting on your behalf, there is an agent authorization letter that must be signed and submitted, as well as I talked about the readiness assessment, the Pathway to Success. We definitely want a copy of your past performance. The federal government does not want to be your guinea pig. We don't want to be the first one to try out your products and service. You must have some past performance. And that's why they ask the GSA, the federal, we're not a business development. We don't develop your business. Your business should already be developed, and we're just enhancing. We're just the icing on the cake of your business. You have a functional business, and these are just added contracts. Opportunity that's added to enhance your business. And then we talked about the subcontracting plans, that how if you want to be able to work with large businesses, how you're able to identify who those businesses are by going to FPDS or looking at the GSA e-library. But if you're a large business, you must include a subcontracting plan. So next slide, please. And so the required documents also is a commercial sales practice. So therefore, you have to have a commercial sales practice, your own catalog of how you're selling to the federal government. And also, they're going to be looking at that commercial sales market because they're going to want equal or better. We definitely are looking for those 2 years of financial statements, which is your profit and loss or your balance and income statements is what they're going to be looking at. They also want your price proposal template. And so this template is an outline, the pricing that the potential suppliers will offer the government. And this document should not be modified in any way. So don't leave any of the sections blank to avoid potential having your offer rejected. And so these are templates that the federal government has already put together. So you're basically going through filling in the blanks. So look at it as that's what you're doing. Belinda, do you have a question for me?
Yes, so someone is asking if we've completed the trainings and are stuck in the application process, specifically if we have questions on creating our price list and submitting our offer, who can we reach out to for help?
That would be Enrique.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, Elizabeth, I'll go ahead and send, let me provide, can you email me directly with your contact information and I'll send that right over to him, Elizabeth? Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Pam.
Okay, thank you. So next, we also want to know your professional compensation plan as well. Can you go to the next slide, please? So also, if it's a service, we want your technical proposal. Anthony had showed you in GSA Advantage what the labor categories and how they were defined, and then what their hourly rate would be. So you would put together a technical proposal that includes the narrative as he showed you. Also, you want to, if it's a product that you're offering to the federal government and you are not the manufacturer of that product, we need for you to provide us a letter of supply. And so that letter of supply binds the supplier or the manufacturer to know that you know, not only are you doing business, but it binds them in providing those items as well. And if you have been previously rejected or canceled and it's been within 2 years, we want you to submit that letter with your offer so we'll know how you have corrected those actions. And if you've been canceled, we want you to make that known to us. If it was based on expired or low sales, we want to know that information and how you have corrected. Belinda, do you have a question for me?
Yes, with regards to the proposal components to apply for the GSA schedule, what information is required to obtain the miscellaneous categories, like the ancillary and or order level materials?
Mm-hmm. You would be submitting it the same. You said what is required. We would just need to know the pricing, the hourly rate, and how you plan on providing those services.
Thank you, Pamela.
All righty, next slide, please. So we did provide you a guide onto how to submit the multiple award schedule. It takes you through the training, and that training is the Pathway to Success and the Readiness Assessment training. It allows you to register. It talks to you about reading the solicitation to ensuring that you understand it. Now, all of this is on our website on the gsa.gov. So you can go, you don't have to wait for someone to contact you. You can go and read this information and identify and it'll answer a lot of your question. I'm telling you, GSA has put so much work into ensuring and simplify to make sure it's user-friendly that any and everybody. And then if you have more questions, you know, we're there to help you in understanding. The only thing we cannot do is help you with your pricing. You know, that's proprietary information that we're not able to assist you with in your company. but we're able to help you navigate through the various websites and show you where you can find the various information. Okay, so and also the forms. Anthony, were you going to demonstrate? I'm not sure if you had, since was there a web link? Were you?
I can do it. We're pressed for time, so let's see. Oops. So as Pam said, I mean, the GSA.gov/roadmap, basically, it outlines exactly what you need in terms of going through the schedule process. It takes you through, it gives you 3 easy steps. The get ready takes you through the trainings that Pamela had mentioned. The pathways to success, the readiness tool assessment, making sure you have your basics, the DUNS number, URL, the SAM registration, your past performance. Takes you through a link to interact, which gives you a place to sign up so you can interact with the GSA acquisition community. It's a really good way to answer ask specific questions, as well as interact with with vendors that are going through the process similarly as you. So highly recommend doing that. Then understanding the solicitation. It then takes you to assembling your offer. And this gives you all the links that you need in terms of your letter of supply, the price proposal template for the specific sin or category that you fall under, and then compiling the information, your financial statements, the subcontracting plan, your technical proposal, everything Pamela just mentioned. These are the links for the specific templates that you will need. The commercial price list, the pricing support document, the price narrative, everything is pretty much here that you will need in order to fill out and upload to the e-offer for your submittal. So definitely it behooves you to come to the gsa.gov/roadmap. It kind of walks you through it step by step, just as the name entails, the roadmap. So it walks you through everything that you need. So really come here, really become familiar with this website. All the templates are pretty much here. And it takes you step by step. And then finalizing your offer just kind of gives you a brief information regarding review it, making sure all of it's complete. That goes from each section in the offer goes from red to green when you've completed it. And then know that you'll be negotiating, and that 90% of you will get a deficiency letter when you submit your application. And you make sure you respond to that deficiency within those 3 to 5 business days that is stated. But yeah, take a look at the website, utilize it, all the templates that are here. Don't create your own templates. We will not accept them. Don't make them prettier. Use this is a government contract. Use the templates that are provided for you. All right, thanks, Pam.
Thanks. I think we have about 2 more slides, as Anthony says. So we have, go to the next slide, please, Anthony. Oh, it talks about how to submit it. This is the website that you'll be going to, GSA e-offer. Once you are preparing, there's also information on your digital certificate, and it has different tutorials on how to. We don't just give you the information and just leave you out there. As I stated, GSA has put a lot of time and energy and ensuring that we provide you the information you need. Once you're on the GSA schedule, and for those of you who might be already on the GSA schedule, there is a submit modifications. Maybe you started out with just putting 2 items on schedules. You can modify your schedule to add additional items, be it products or service. And what's so great about it, you don't have to submit, you don't have to go through the whole application process of obtaining a GSA contract, because you would already have one. And so the modification process is just so much easier. And after acquiring your GSA contract number, you are required through the to report your quarterly sales. And so your industrial funding fee is something you would add to your pricing. And as you generate sales off of your multiple award schedule, you would send those sales quarterly to GSA. Now, keep in mind, it's not coming off of your profit. It's the sales that you add after you have established your pricing with how much you're going to offer that information to the federal government. Let's go to the next slide, please. And so in locating your solicitation, it's going to the beta.sam.gov, and Anthony has already did a live demonstration earlier on that when he went to the beta.sam.gov. Next slide. And so if you still have questions, please reach out to us, contact our office, our regional staff. We're here to assist you. Next slide, please. And also, don't forget to use the additional resources. SBA is the eyes, the ears, the mouthpiece for small business. You have your PTACs, and it's your PTAC that put this training on today, invited us out to do this training. Please utilize them. You also have the Minority Business Development Agency, which is a part of the U.S. Department of Commerce that's available, as well as the GSA office as well. And next slide will give you our information on how to reach us. So I thank you, Belinda. I know we have, I think 6 minutes left. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, that if we have any questions, we can answer them at this time.
Thank you so much, Pamela. If you have any questions, any of the attendees, please feel free to include it in the chat. Anthony and Pam, thanks so much for presenting the training again. It's a pleasure always. I don't see any questions just yet. Maybe we'll give it like another minute or two. And just to let you all know, we host these trainings regularly. We've already scheduled them for the 2021 year. I will put a link in where you can find other open training opportunities with the LA County PTAC. And I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat here. And you can just click on training events and you can see the upcoming events we have. We are going to have our next doing business with GSA on June 10th. So if you missed anything or have additional questions, you feel free to come back and visit us for that session coming up. And yes, Allie, we will go ahead and send all the slides out along with the recording link, okay? So with that, I don't think we have any more questions. Thanks a lot, Pam and Anthony, and thank you everybody who attended. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.